There's a moment, not dramatic, not loud, not filmed or shared, when most people give up. It's not because they're weak. It's not because they don't want it. It's because they don't realize that the entire game of life is not won by giant leaps, but by the silent, invisible, almost unnoticeable choices they make when no one is watching. You felt it, haven't you? That voice inside whispering, "Skip it today. You'll do double tomorrow." That's not laziness. That's the moment the 99% lose. And that's the exact second the 1% win. Not because they're smarter, not because they're more talented, but because they did the thing anyway. They showed up, not with fire, not with motivation, but with commitment. This is not just a speech. This is a wake-up call. Because right now, someone out there, maybe even you, is one decision away from changing everything. And if you let this truth sink in, if you let it cut through the noise, the excuses, the years of "I'll start tomorrow," then this might be the last time you ever feel stuck. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly believed you were capable of more? Not in a fleeting moment of inspiration after watching a motivational video, but deep in your bones when you looked in the mirror and said, "I am built for this. I was made for more." If that moment feels distant, it's not because you've lost potential. It's because you've been lied to. Society tells you success comes from passion, from motivation, from some magical moment of clarity. But I'm here to tell you the truth. Motivation is a liar. It comes and goes like the wind. Some days you feel like a lion. Other days, you can't even get out of bed. The people who level up, the ones who build empires, who transform their bodies, who master skills, who rise from nothing, they don't wait for motivation. They operate on something deeper, something quieter, something far more powerful. The 1% rule. It means this: improving by just 1% every single day. Not 10%, not 50%, just 1%. So small, it feels meaningless. So small most people ignore it. But here's the secret. Compounding doesn't care how small you start. It only cares that you never stop. 1% better today than yesterday. 1% more focused. 1% more disciplined. 1% more honest with yourself. Do that for a year, and you're not 365% better. You're 37 times better. That's not math. That's magic. And it's available to everyone, even you, even now, even after every failure, every setback, every time you've said, "I'm not good enough." But here's why 99% never reach it. They overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. They want transformation overnight. They want abs in a week, wealth in a month, respect in a minute. So they go all in, wake up at 5 a.m., buy every course, download every app, promise themselves this is the time. And for 3 days, they're on fire. Then life happens. They miss a workout. They skip journaling. They scroll instead of studying. And because they didn't see results immediately, they quit. They call themselves weak. They say, "I just don't have what it takes." But that's a lie. You don't need more willpower. You need a better system. The 1% rule isn't about effort. It's about consistency. It's about doing the thing even when it feels pointless. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. Because greatness isn't born in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows, in the quiet moments when you choose discipline over comfort, when you choose future you over present you. Let me tell you a story. There was a man, not famous, not rich, not even particularly talented, who decided he wanted to write a book. He had no time. He worked 12-hour shifts. He had a family. But he made a rule. Every day, without fail, he would write 200 words. That's it. Not a chapter, not a page, just 200 words. Some days, it took him 10 minutes. Some days, he wrote it on his phone during a break. Some days, he was so tired he barely made sense. But he never missed a day. 200 words. Every single day. 5 years later, he finished his book. It got published. Then it became a bestseller. Then it was turned into a movie. When people asked him, "How did you do it?" he didn't talk about genius or motivation. He said, "I just wrote 200 words a day. That's the 1% rule." That's how ordinary people do extraordinary things. Not by doing more, but by never stopping. Now ask yourself, what's your 200 words? What's the one small thing you could do every single day that, if you never missed it, would change your life in a year? Is it reading 5 pages? Is it doing 10 push-ups? Is it saving $5? Is it sending one cold message? Is it meditating for 2 minutes? Whatever it is, that's your 1%. And that's where your future is built. Because the truth most people never learn is this: you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. You don't become fit by dreaming of abs. You become fit by showing up at the gym, even when it rains. You don't become wealthy by watching money videos. You become wealthy by saving before you spend every single time. You don't become a great speaker by hoping one day you'll be confident. You become great by speaking, even if it's just to a mirror, every morning. The outer world reflects the inner routine, and the 1% know this. They don't chase results. They protect their process like their life depends on it, because it does. I want you to imagine 2 versions of yourself. One is sitting on the couch right now, scrolling, thinking maybe tomorrow. The other is 365 days ahead, stronger, sharper, richer, more confident. What separates them? Not talent, not luck. Just one thing: the decision to do 1% more every single day. That future you isn't some distant dream. He's built one small choice at a time. One workout, one saved dollar, one honest conversation, one moment of courage. And every time you choose comfort over growth, you betray that future self. But every time you choose discipline, even when it hurts, you honor him. You become him. This isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. The 1% aren't perfect. They fail. They fall. They feel like quitting. But they have one rule: never break the chain. Never miss twice. Because the moment you miss once, the voice says, "It's fine." And the moment you miss twice, it says, "You're not the type of person who does this." And that's how dreams die, not with a bang, but with silence. I'll tell you something no one talks about. The beginning is supposed to feel stupid. Writing your first page, doing your first push-up, saving your first dollar. It feels pointless. It feels small. It feels like nothing. And that's why most quit. But the 1% know the truth. The first step is always invisible. No one sees it. No one claps. But it's the most important step because it starts the chain. It begins the compounding. And one day, maybe months, maybe years, you'll look back and realize that the moment you showed up when no one was watching, when you did the thing, even though it felt small, that was the moment everything changed. Let me ask you, what are you avoiding right now? What's the one thing you keep putting off because it feels too hard, too big, too far away? Break it down, shrink it, make it so small you can't say no. Want to build a business? Start by writing one idea a day. Want to get fit? Do 5 squats. When you wake up, want to be happier? Write one thing you're grateful for before bed. That's your 1%. And when you do it, not perfectly, not dramatically, but consistently, you're not just building a habit. You're building identity. You're becoming the type of person who follows through. And that identity is unstoppable. I've seen people transform their lives not with grand gestures, but with tiny, relentless actions. A man who was depressed started walking for 5 minutes every day. 6 months later, he was running marathons. A woman in debt started saving $1 a day. 3 years later, she bought her first home. A student who failed every exam started reviewing his notes for 10 minutes nightly. He graduated top of his class. These aren't miracles. These are laws of nature. Small actions, repeated, become uncheckable results. The 1% rule isn't a strategy. It's a law, like gravity. And the only way to break it is to stop. So don't stop. Not for burnout. Not for fear. Not for failure. Keep going. Even if it's slow. Even if it's quiet. Even if no one sees it. And when you feel like quitting, and you will, remember this. The world doesn't reward the talented. It rewards the persistent. The ones who keep going when others fade. The ones who show up even when they don't feel like it. The ones who protect their 1% like it's their last breath. Because one day, you'll wake up and realize you've become someone else. Someone stronger. Someone wiser. Someone who doesn't wait for permission. Someone who doesn't need motivation. Because they've built a life that runs on discipline. On purpose. On truth. And when that day comes, you won't look back with regret. You'll look back with pride. Because you didn't just dream of greatness. You lived it. 1% at a time. So here's your mission. Start today. Not tomorrow. Not Monday. Today. Find your 1%. The smallest action that moves you forward. And do it. Then do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. Don't measure progress by the mirror, or the bank account, or the applause. Measure it by consistency. By the fact that you didn't quit. Because that's the real victory. That's what separates the 1% from the 99%. Not talent, not luck. Just the courage to keep going. And if you do this, if you commit to the 1% rule, I promise you this. 1 year from now, you won't recognize yourself. You'll be stronger, clearer, more alive. And you'll look back at this moment, right now, and smile. Because you'll know that this was the day it all began. Not with a bang, not with a miracle, but with a choice. A quiet, powerful, uncheckable choice. I will not stop. That's the 1% rule. That's how you level up. That's how you win. Now go do your 1%. And keep doing it until your life becomes the proof.